why Jesus Christ came to say, no, I'm not coming to preach religion. I'm coming to preach humanity, service to humanity and service to God. That's why he brought a parable of the Good Samaritan. The priest was the first to see the man in blood and passed away. Maybe he was in a hurry to go and perform in the synagogue. And somebody who died. The Levite, the house of Levi, went away. Samaritan saw the person, and that's why Jesus was saying, that's your neighbor. Anybody you can help is your neighbor. And that's what Jesus Christ came to preach. And when he summarized the commandments, he did not say, do this religion. He said, no. He said, look, love your neighbor as yourself. That's the first one. Second one, love the Lord your God with all your heart. And that's the summary of the 10 commandments. Put all the 10 commandments on this. You will see them. You can separate them on neighbor, God. Neighbor, God.
Doctor, it would be interesting to have you on the pulpit.
Yes, I'm on the pulpit too. I'm a reverend gentleman.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes. Wow. But you see, these days, because they've bastardized so much, I always use I don't even use barrister, doctor, everything. I only use Dr. Fred. I worked for my doctorate, so that's good. Yeah. I hand it. Because a lot of things, I see a lot of things today, but I just thank God, Lord, I know you have a personal relationship with you. Because if not, you will run away from faith. You can imagine the recent one, 63-year-old apostle marries 18-year-old choir girl in his church as a second wife. And some pastors were standing with him. I won't stand with him. I won't stand with him. Right. Chinese who don't even have faith, they say when man 60 marries girl 25, it's like buying book for someone else to read.
Oh my God.
That's Chinese proverb for you, sir.
Okay.
When man 60 marries girl 25, it's like buying book for someone else to read. Then an apostle 63 has a wife, now took an 18-year-old girl as a second wife, and some people are standing with him in pictures.
So someone else will read that book.
Somebody else will read that
Definitely.
book. Someone else will read that book.
And you wonder what will be written in that book.
Well,
all right.
Look at the world. Look at the world. Look at the seven religions of the world in their population as at 2021. Let me give you the statistics.
Yes, please do.
Okay. And then when you look at it...
In a minute.
Yes, in a minute I'll do that for you. Christianity, 2.38 billion. Islam, 1.9 billion. Hinduism, 1.16 billion. Buddhism, 507 million. Folk religions, 430 million. Other religions, 61 million. Judaism, 14.6 million. Unaffiliated, 1.19 billion. Unaffiliated, 1.19 billion. They don't have religion. They don't know. We just live as like that. So what we're talking about is if we all practice what Christ teaches about love your neighbor as yourself and love God, we will have it will be an utopian society.
Conscience, character,
love, humanity. You see how we grew up. Let me give you what I'm talking about. It starts from home. And listen, when I say, is it the father or the mother? I will tell you, it's the mother. It's the mother that shapes the child. It's the mother. The father spends all the money. The mother shapes the child. In 1964,
that's an argument. You're starting something else.
Don't argue it. Don't argue it, my dear. I'm a man. I'm a man, and I'm saying it.
Used to be.
That's it.
It's the ideal.
In those days, all you made us do, our mothers, is to make us be the terror image in the house. When your father comes, mommy, please don't tell my daddy. Yes. That's all we are.
Yes.
We are on the judgment seat. But when talking of shaping the child, do you know? My daddy wouldn't have known I stole a ruler in 1964.
You did?
Okay.
I stole a ruler in 1964. I didn't even know it was stealing. Somebody stole my yellow ruler. I saw a green ruler on the floor. I picked it. I didn't ask for the owner. I put it in my bag.
Well, sometimes it will be interesting to steal something and not know you are stealing.
And you see, but my mother made me know by pummeling me. She beat her. I won't forget it. In fact, the girl I stole her ruler, I didn't forget her name. She was at my second son's wedding in 2011. I invited her. Billy Kisu at the room.
But she has forgiven you.
She has forgiven, and she got her ruler back because my mother checked my bag and saw the ruler and woke me up.
I knew this wasn't your own.
I said, my ruler.
He stole it by mistake.
He said, I bought you yellow ruler, you brought green ruler.
Hey,
I said, I don't know who took my own. So I now saw this on the floor. So floor is now growing rulers. He didn't ask who the owner was.
Wow.
She just put my head on her thigh and pummeled me at the back. Wow. Then gave a note to my teacher. The teacher, when she was 80 years, I sent her Diglot Bible when I was still outside of Nigeria. That one now got me and used ruler to hit the back of my hand before. Now is the ruler. The girl came out, Billy Kiss at the room. I didn't forget the name of the girl. This is 1964. That's about 57 years ago. So mothers, They shape us. They make us know that we must be useful in the society.
Yeah.
We must not spoil the name of the family. You know, all those kind of things. So they all grow within us before we now go into
Interesting.
spirituality.
Okay. Doctor, before we let you go, you have to answer the question that you see on the screen.
Yes.
So with all the variants available to us over time,
Yes.
is there anything like one true religion?
Yes.
If yes, what is it?
There is one true religion. There is one true religion. And I won't go to the fallacy of the Christians now. But, in a nutshell, I would say I am a Christian. That's my faith. But the one true religion that Jesus Christ presented, irrespective of your faith, because religion is not the main thing, it's relationship we're talking about. Okay. Now, it's talking about the true religion. Okay. Serve humanity, serve God.
Good.
That is the true religion.
That's the true religion.
So it doesn't have a tag.
That's
It
the
doesn't have a
religion.
tag.
It doesn't have a name.
Serve humanity, serve God.
Find
That's
your
the true
purpose.
Serve humanity, serve God. Jesus Christ confessed, he said, as you would like others to do to you, do so to them.
We could be
So
here.
if you don't want them to hurt you, don't hurt them.
True. Okay. With Dr. Frederick, you can be here for another 3 hours and we would not be exhausting this subject matter. No doubt a much better understanding has been achieved today on a subject matter. All we can say is thank you so much for doing a very excellent job.
It's a pleasure to be here. So my country has become 75 this year.
Okay.
I went to Jordan on pilgrimage. Okay. So that was my 75th country.
And
I'm still counting because I'm still on this side of the world, of this earth. So it's a pleasure to be here.
Thank
and
you so
I
much.
pray every one of us watching at home will realize that in life, whatever you don't want others to do to you, don't do to them. And whenever you can kneel down before your God and have a clear conscience, you are a happy person.
Yes.
Money cannot buy that peace of God.
Thank
it
you.
passes all human understanding.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Doctor.
you.
And it gets
Thank
better
you. Thank
as
you.
we conclude this
Thank
package
you.
with Pharaoh and her guest taking a look at purpose and spirituality.
But hold your breath a bit, just a moment, as we make way for the Keep Fit coach. He's ready to take us through some exercises, and after that, Pharaoh and her guest will take the stage. Please stay with us. This is Today with John and Helen.
Welcome to the fitness segment on the Breakfast Show on Plus TV. My name is Eric and I'm from Lafayette Gym. So we're going to be showing you exercises you can do in a hurry. Exercises you can do in a go. Exercises that will take just about 10, 15 minutes to do, and after that you carry on with the rest of your day. This won't take time, but something that will just hit most muscle group as you do it. So I'll be doing this with my friend Jaye. She will join me as we continue this exercise as we go on. So first we'll have to warm up, then we'll go into the exercises, and then we'll stretch at the end of it. So join me as we go. Today we'll be doing just jumping jack and squats, okay? Something we'll do a jumping jack, we'll punch, and then we'll squat. So we're hitting the upper body, the lower body, and then we'll also hit our cardio as hard as we can, okay? And this is going to take just about 10 minutes. It won't take time at all. So I need you to join us to do this. Are you ready? All right, so we'll start with a simple warm-up. So we'll just go there. Just go on the spot, like a football run. We're going to do this for 1 full minute. You can add your hands and swing your hands if you like, or you keep it steady. Just keep going. 1. To flow, okay, allow the blood to pump to the right areas, and then you also be able to avoid injuries or tear, as the case may be. All right, let's bring it up. 1, there. It's a simple exercises you can do on the spot, on the go. All right, stay in the spots. Now let's go. 1, 2. Eight, 9, and 10. Good job. All right, put your hands here. Make a circle. Let's go back opposite direction. 1. Good job. All right, check it out. Check it out. Okay, so we're going to the exercise proper. First, we're going to go for jumping jacks, okay? I want us to go for 25 jumping jacks. Now, this is jumping jacks. You stay here, hands by the side, and then you go. Old school jumping jack. I'm sure a lot of us do this when we were in school, all right? For those of us that have maybe knee issues or something, you can't jump, you can also go this way. You don't have to jump. You just do this. So we'll do that 25, and then we're going to squat 25. We'll do it again, 25, we'll squat 25. We'll do it 3 times, catch our breath, and we'll repeat again. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. All right, we're going to a squat. You go there. That's 1, 2, good job. 3. Now when we squat, 4. I need you to watch side. 5. Okay, go down there like you want to sit on the chair. Okay, try not to start your squat from the knee. That's like about 10. We'll have 15 to go. All right, see, you go as if you want to sit on the chair. Don't start your squat from here. It's wrong. Okay, just go back, making sure your knee does not travel beyond your toe. Now, for those of us 5 who can't squat easily like this, it's okay for you to get a chair, sit on it, and stand up until you're able to improve and squat without this kind of support. Or you can hold something, hold an object, maybe a chair or something, or a table, and squat so that you'll be able to, you don't put too much pressure on that knee. Let's check it out. Okay, now, I want us to just add just one more move to it, okay? So we're going to add a plank and shoulder tap to it. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Elbow. 1. Shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring it down. Yes. Good. Okay. So we're going to take the remaining 1 or 2 minutes and stretch. All right. So from here, just do this. Bring your hand, hold onto your heel, push both heels, look up. 1. Remember, we've gone into the stretch now. 2. Release one hand up, right hand, and go. Come back. Hold again. The other side. Let's go. 1. Bring it back down. Give me a hollow pose. Bring your right leg forward. Hold and pull back. Let's stretch the hamstrings. 9 and 10. The other leg. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's my time, guys. I hope this will serve you as you do this on the go every day. Just make out 10, 15 minutes. Just do this every day. Break out and stretch and go about your business. Thank you very much. See you next time.
Thank you, John and Helen. The value of spirituality is said to be linked to many important aspects of human functioning, i.e., spiritual people have positive relationships, high self-esteem, are optimistic, and have meaning and purpose in life. And some of its dictionary definitions are: spirituality involves the recognition of a feeling or sense or belief that there is something greater than ourselves. Another is: spirituality is a quality of being concerned with the human spirit or soul as opposed to material and physical things. The last definition I'm going to share: spirituality is the state or quality of being dedicated to God, religion, or spiritual things and values, especially as contracted with material or temporal ones. So you see, some definitions are God-centered and others aren't. Now let's look at purpose. Simply put, it's defined as the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists, an intended end, aim, or goal. Purpose creates meaning, offers a sense of direction, and helps guide our paths, behavior, and our goals when applied to our lives. Is limited. He had an 18-year investment banking career which saw him work for organizations like Central Bank of Nigeria, First Bank PLC, Guarantee Trust Bank, and BGL Asset Management Limited. Welcome, Wole.
Hi, good morning, Farah. I'm glad to be here this morning.
I am so happy that you're here with me. I really, really am. So, I have checked Google. Google has given me definitions. Now, I want you to give me your own definition. So I'm going to be asking you some of the same questions.
All right.
As to purpose versus spirituality. And of course, the first question is, to you, what is spirituality, and then what is purpose?
From my own perspective, spirituality is just that sense of being connected to a higher being. You know, deep down inside all of us, there's a vacuum that we try to fill, and we can't fill in our own power. So what fills that vacuum is that connection to that higher being. And when you discover what spirituality is, you get to a state where you find out that your life is more than you. Because every one of us was created for interconnectedness. And we might never be able to do that until we embrace spirituality, connection to a higher being, and then it flows out from us to other people.
I see. And purpose?
Purpose is basically the reason for which everyone was created. So I tell people when I talk about purpose, because it's one of my favorite topics, that every single one of us is a solution to an existing problem in this world. So that more or less tells us that there's no one in this world created without a purpose. God doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't do...
Hold on, I'm going to interrupt you there.
All right.
You said God doesn't make mistakes.
He doesn't make
But then
mistakes.
when you define spirituality, you said a higher being.
Yes.
Is there a difference?
No, there's no difference. The higher being I'm talking about is God. So...
Are you certain?
I'm very certain, because I've been on this journey for quite a while. I would doubt what somebody has told you. But it's very difficult to doubt what you have experienced. So the things I share are not just things I heard. They're not just things I read. They are things I have personally experienced to make me know and come to that conclusion that God is real.
And God is the higher being.
Yes, it's that higher being.
So I'll then take you back to your definition of purpose in relation to
All right.
God.
So, like I was saying, every one of us is a solution to an existing problem. So every one of us was created deliberately and intentionally to solve a problem in this world. So the fact that you have not yet discovered purpose, your reason for being here, does not mean you don't have one. Because I'm not an experiment. You are not an experiment. We were created intentionally to solve problems. So you find a situation that the fact that you have a pen and you are not using that pen to write does not mean the purpose of the pen is not for writing. So that's the same way it is for everyone. So we are here on assignment, and that assignment is to solve an existing problem. So you can imagine what would have happened if Thomas Edison had not discovered light. Someone would have eventually done it, but it would have set back the whole world many years. So when people don't discover the reason why they are created, it leads to a lot of problems. And that's why Dr. Miles Monroe of blessed memory always says that the richest place on the earth is not the banks, it's not the gold mines, but it's the cemetery. Because the cemetery is where lots of things that people ought to have done with their lives but didn't do, they take it there. So unwritten books or unwritten songs or things that would have invented that were never invented, all because people took them to the grave without ever discovering it. Now, very interestingly, I believe strongly in the afterlife. And the truth is this, all these solutions that God has given us will be totally useless in the afterlife. They are meant to be used there. So every time I see an armed robber die, and everybody's applauding that an armed robber has been killed, I feel somehow, because I see another wasted opportunity to have influenced humanity, because definitely nobody was created to be an armed robber. So if you find someone that is involved in a vice, that's a waste of purpose. And you know, when somebody veers off the line of his purpose, it deprives the people he has been sent to of the solution is meant to be to them.
So you've said some really succinct things there, but let me connect it back to spirituality. Twofold. Can you be, what is the connection between spirituality and purpose? And can you be non-spiritual and fulfill purpose? Or does non-spirituality even exist? So I've kind of asked 3 questions in one.
All right. So the first one is this: humanity. Matter of fact, I was born a stammerer, and I was born with chronic shyness. I was born as a stammerer, and it was always difficult to face people. But I noticed something. When I was young, every time I was alone and I thought about my life, the only thing I could see myself doing was talking to large crowds of people. The only thing I could see myself doing was motivating people, was encouraging them about life. But you know, it looked so far-fetched. How would a stammerer be doing stuff like that? How would someone who was shy be doing stuff like that? But that now makes us to know that your purpose is bigger than you. Your purpose is not something you can fulfill in your own power. So it's that spirituality, connection to God, that leads into purpose. And then when you discover purpose, you know, purpose is linked to your potential. Your potential is the ability to do what you've been sent to do. So when you discover your purpose, the potential there is released, and then you begin to make a difference in people's lives. I'll tell you with all sense of humility and responsibility that no matter how down a person is, if I spend 60 minutes with that person will become encouraged to take on life and become much better than what they are going through.
Because you've discovered your purpose.
Yes, and I've not just discovered it, it gives me joy. It makes adrenaline flow towards me every time I have an opportunity to do what I've been sent to do. Just like I'm doing now.
I have a question, but I'm not going to ask it. So can you be non-spiritual and still fulfill purpose?
To a very large extent, yes. They are not spiritual. However, they are making a difference. But the whole essence of everything eventually is to lead to a level of spirituality, especially because there's an afterlife. So no matter how long we live here, the most important thing is this: it's that afterlife.
But haven't you just contradicted yourself? Because you started off by defining spirituality as, and then lateral connection. Yeah. Once you get from upwards.
Yeah, but so inside every one of us, whether we are conscious of it or not, there's that connection to God.
So that means even the people who you're saying are not spiritual are actually spiritual, but they may not realize it.
Yes, they may not realize it. So it's not really something. So, you know, there's a difference between grasping someone who has hair on his head, and another difference between trying to grasp a bald-headed man like me with a lot of cream on his head. So you can feel my head, but you find out that there's no grip. You understand? So the people that we would call non-spiritual, there's that connection inside them.
To something.
To something, but they are not aware, and there's also no mastery. It's not something that they can really control. It's not something that they are really deliberate about. But for someone like me, I'm very aware of that connection. And I'm also very aware that there's a relationship between myself and this higher being. You know, my life has been through so many things. So most of the things I talk about, they are based on things I read and which I've also had experiences about. So it's difficult for me to doubt them.
I see. So, okay, I introduced you as lead pastor, yeah? Interestingly enough, I I asked the question recently, why do we have a lot more pastors come to the forefront than we have imams?
It's simply a set of rules, a set of ideologies, a set of stuffs that are meant to lead us to God. But I'll tell you, in most cases, it doesn't lead us to God. You know why? Because you are living by a set of rules, but there's no personal relationship. You know, you don't know who you are trying to relate with. Because a lot of us feel that if I do this, if I do that, if I do this, if I don't do this, if I don't do that, I'll be closer to God. But it doesn't lead to God. So I call religion a kind of maze, a kind of labyrinth, where you just keep going round and round in circles without ever finding God. So at the end of the day, religion only leads into bondage. There's a form of godliness, but there's no power inside it because there's no connection to God. So I've been there. I've been religious in the past. But you see, at the end of the day, you are going to end up being burned out. You are going to end up being frustrated. You are going to end up being spiritually tired and famished because it's not the real thing. It's not the real thing. It looks like the real thing, but it's not the real thing. So I've been there. So spirituality is that direct connection, while religion is something that gives you an idea of it, but it's not it. And in most cases, when you look at religious people, they are focused on what they must do for God, but they are not focused on, they are trying to take it from down up, but not knowing that it must come from up to down before it starts to evolve that way. And then most of their stuffs are based on what one man has said instead of going directly to God themselves. So that's why I don't teach religion. I teach that direct relationship with God. And I don't try to mold people to be like me, because that will be totally wasting their potential.
I'm tapping my foot because I'm like, okay, I hear you. You've broken some tables, but again, I introduced you as lead pastor, Graceland Church, Lagos.
Church.
Great Life Church, Lagos. Pastor is in the Bible.
Yes.
Bible is a Christian book.
Christian book.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Church is in the Bible. Church is seen as where Christians gather to worship. Christianity is a religion.
Christianity is defined as a religion. However, the first place people were called Christians, according to the Bible in Acts 11, was in Antioch. And why did they call them Christians? Because you see, if you don't know the why of a thing, you'll get it totally wrong. Why were they called Christians? It simply means they were Christ-like. They behaved like Christ. They spoke like Christ. They thought like Christ. As a Christian, I don't need to tell people I'm a Christian. I don't need to. If I tell people I'm a Christian, if not for official purpose, then something is wrong. They ought to see it in me. So you see, the best evangelism is not in sharing tracts. The best form of evangelism is not in telling people, it's your lifestyle. Anybody can preach a good sermon behind a pulpit for 45 minutes a week. But you see, the best pulpit is our lifestyle. That's where people see Christ. So when you look at it, Christianity is not a religion. It's a way of life. In thoughts, in deed, in everything, Christ must be seen. So that's what Christianity is about. Now, you see, when you are related with Christ, when you look at the word church in Greek is called ecclesia. And when you look at ecclesia from a Greek perspective, it talks about, it's a political language. It talks about the Senate, where people used to go weekly to have discussions. So Christianity is not really about people gathering every Sunday to listen to one pastor. It's about having conversations about Christ that will eventually lead to God. And that's what we try to do. It's not about me. It's bigger than me. It's centered around Christ. So that's why it cannot be a religion. Although for official purposes, for descriptions, we call it a religion, but Christianity is much more than a religion. It's a way of life.
Okay, I'm like, I wish I could have this conversation forever because, yeah, but I can't because we're running out of time. So
Wow.
I want to ask you to how to fulfill purpose whilst also connecting with our spirituality.
So 24/7, my answers will be the same. I might get to know it better. However, the underlying factor is that those answers will remain the same. That spirituality is that connection to God beyond myself. And purpose is finding the problem we have been created to solve. And you know, in fulfilling purpose, there are different ways. Number one, for each one of us, right from when we started growing up, there are pictures that have never left us. Pictures of what we see ourselves doing when we grow up. When you are alone, when you are talking to people, those pictures keep coming. That was how I discovered my own purpose, because I always saw myself encouraging people, lifting them up. So it was easy for me to know the problem I had been created to solve. Another way is what people jokingly call you. So if you are someone that they call a talk...
Are you giving us 3 to 5 steps now?
Yeah.
What you're doing?
No, okay. So the first step I've discovered, I've said the first step, number one step, is those pictures that have never left you. Then number two way, what people jokingly or sarcastically call you. So if you are a talkative, he talks too much, it's a pointer to the fact that your purpose is linked to your mouth. So God is going to do it in such a way that you use your mouth to lift people up. Then the number three way is to directly ask God. Is the manufacturer. We are the products. And no manufacturer creates a product to fail. It's totally impossible. No manufacturer creates a product to fail. So you can directly ask him. And I've had instances of people directly asking God that, why am I here? What problem was I created to solve? And I can tell you, he always answers, because he's eager for us to ask than we are even eager to ask. Because the manufacturer is not satisfied until he sees the product doing what it has been called to do. So the fact that a pen can open a tin of milk does not make it a tin cutter. You understand? It doesn't make it a tin cutter. So those 3 steps, and then when you go to those 3 steps and you discover the why, then you must also polish that gift. You know, you must add training, you must add skillfulness to it, and then finally you begin to walk in the area of that purpose. You begin to do it, you begin to make a difference to lives until you get to that stage where people call you Wale Olushola and they say the pastor or the coach, because there's a convergence. Everything about you has converged into one, and people now only know you by one adjective.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so, so much for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you've broken tables. It's been amazing and it's been extremely insightful. We can have these conversations forever. So thank you so be it.
So be it.
Fair enough. And on that note, we will be wrapping up the show. This has been super enlightening. Please, please, please watch it again and again and again. And let's begin to understand.
ready to party right from the comfort of your TV screen. The rundown's here to save the day. From freshly baked videos to the classics to the youngins and dope conversations, all in one chart. We got you.
So you're welcome back, like we say. It's good to have you with us. And I will dive straight into the nugget for this week. And it's quite a lengthy one. So I'm not going to say Pharaoh. I'm going to say Helen.
Okay.
Are you listening? So the nugget is this. The greatest problem we have as humans is with our minds. If we can stop minding our humanness, we can become perfect public speakers. So it's all about consciousness. When we get too conscious about things, other things, in quotes, on stage, will I fall? Will they applaud? Will I sweat? Will I mess up? Right? It affects our performance. So the greatest problem we have is with our minds. Most of those things, you have them in our heads, but they never happen. Most of the time, they never happen. So the idea is for us to think less about ourselves, put all your troubles away.
He wasn't meant to be on set yet. And it was all live. So, because you're a human being, if you make a mistake, just go on.
Yeah, accidents
Not a problem.
happen. Yeah, accidents happen. Just move on.
All right. Okay. We shook the tables today, like Pharaoh always said. We muddled the water a little bit with spirituality versus religion. All right? Time
Versus
to go.
purpose.
Time to go. Time to go, John.
Yes, time to go.
All right. Time to go, Pharaoh. Final words.
See you next week. Same time, same place. Tune in.
All right. It's been my pleasure today, as always. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Is it for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am looking very